their place to get to the Super Regionals.
All right, now, 6 of the biggest high school basketball powerhouses in the country, including Oak Hill Academy, Mount Verde Academy in Florida, IMG, La Lumiere in Indiana, which is where, what was his name? Was it, good gosh, I just went blank on who might have played there. It went to Sunrise Christian Academy. That's where another one of the Baylor players went.
Kendall Brown.
Kendall Brown. And then also a Wasatch Academy in Utah. And 2 other schools will play a 10-game regular season and then hold a postseason tournament and have a national championship. Now, 10 games, to me, this is a little bit different than what I first thought. I thought it was going to be like you're going to play an entire season. 10 games is not enough to fill the cupboard of these players. But then they might be playing in these other tournaments around the country that are outside of what they do with high school basketball.
I mean, they play in all these tournaments anyway. I mean, they go all over the place and play in all of them. I mean, to me, I don't see what the difference is truly, other than combining it into this, So the city I grew up in, Fort Myers, has the City of Palms, which is a huge national basketball tournament that I'm sure a lot of these teams have played in before. It's a big deal. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me, that they would. I mean, it's essentially what they're doing anyway. It just, it's just slightly different.
What if a team out of Texas decided to join that group if they were invited?
Well, they better be a private school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it would have to be, because they're not publicly going to be able to compete with these teams. Oak Hill Academy recruits players. Bottom line, Carmelo Anthony played there. Like multiple NBA guys.
IMG's whole business model is that.
Well, look at every school has academy in their name. IMG Academy, Mont Verde Academy, Sunrise Christian Academy. Academy is a fun word for saying private school, and when it comes to sports, we recruit big-time blue-chip athletes. That's what that means. So no, there's nobody, unless like Fort Worth All Saints or something wanted to start. I mean, let's say they're like paying high school players to come there or something, or their AAU coaches or whatever shenanigans are going on. Yeah, but they're going to look to expand, apparently. I mean, this does not interest me at all as far as a viewer goes. I'm sure they'll probably, Oak Hill IMGs usually, or those types of games are on TV, a couple times a year anyways. But, it's interesting. I mean, it's not going to get me to watch their product at all. I don't care about high school basketball like that, but it's interesting, that's for sure. Definitely more of a business than a school thing.
Kendall Brown at Sunrise Christian, of course, he's already signed with Baylor. Langston Love's at Mount Verde in Florida. And then Jeremy Sohan, I thought at one point might have been at the one school that I mentioned, that La Lumiere. And so all of those are the type of players that are playing for these schools. And now 3 of them will be at Baylor, of course, the 2021 team.
I mean, those are all powerhouse schools. There'll be a lot of Division I talent that's going to be playing, although a lot of that talent probably end up going G League just to make a quick buck and then maybe make it to the NBA one day. But, if you're super into basketball and super into basketball recruiting, then this should be right up your alley.
I agree. It'd be interesting to see what happens. It's just what? How many teams did I say it was? 6 or 8. Mm-hmm. So that's not like an effect.
It's going to be.
And they're still going to have the national polls that whether or not someone like a team out of Texas, who was it that won it last year?
It is interesting if you look at where all those. I mean, a couple of those places are in Florida. There's one in Kansas. There's one in there's a couple in Utah. That where they are. Texas, we don't have a lot of those here, and I think part of that is because the coaches' associations of all those sports, especially football, are really big and strong, powerful. And to try to do that here, like you're better for IMG of being in Florida and going to Texas and getting a kid to move there as opposed to setting that thing up in, say, San Antonio and then trying to convince people to go there and not being blackballed ridiculously. Because, again, the FHSAA and the way things run in Florida, it's a complete circus. But in Texas with the UIL and the Coach Association, it would be really hard. I know people have tried to do it, but to be as big and like as IMG or Oak Hill or something like that, I just don't think you could.
Here Oak Cliff Faith Family Academy. You're starting, and there's a school that's up in is Waxahachie or somewhere that has kind of all of a sudden exploded onto the scene in the last 5 years. They beat Yates one year.
Yeah, and that's what I think Deanna was kind of trying to do with Prime Prep.
That's for sure what he was trying to do.
But still under the umbrella. These schools are still under the umbrella of the UIL to at least, it seems, is try to contain them a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's hard. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's hard in Texas because there's a lot of things you'd have to do, and a lot of people have to get to turn against what they've been doing their whole life.
And Paul, it would ruin the entire foundation of the entire thing. Like, how can you be a big fan of California high school sports when you know it's just a bunch of academies poaching all the best players from around California?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when they wrote that book on De La Salle a few, 20 years ago. There was a book on De La Salle High School or Academy Prep or whatever the hell it is, and it was like their football program was just like this legendary program or whatever. And then you start to read it like I did because, hey, I'm a young kid, and I'm like, oh, a team from California. I'm interested to learn. And it's like, well, it's like a full-blown professional team, basically. I mean, they bring in kids from all over. And so California's the Wild West. Florida's the Wild West. And I'm glad in Texas that we've been at least able to eliminate that to a large extent, although there have been the Deion Sanders and those who have tried to do that. But, there's still people trying. Let's get homeschool kids to play for whatever team they want to, basically. And let's add this private school to the public ranks, even though there's still going to be a private, there's been people trying to finagle their way into kind of getting in that direction. But thankfully, the UIL and the coaches associations are very strong because I would hate to see, sports ruined in this state by a bunch of just academies gobbling up all the talent, and I hate to see that in California and Florida, but that's just kind of the way of life there. And up in the Northeast, I mean, every big time blue chip basketball player, look where they come from when they play in like Philadelphia or New York. It's always like something Catholic or something academy. Something. I mean, that's all the rage in basketball is those guys basically just going wherever.
By the way, this is from today. Kendall Rogers does a great job. This